you're still under oath. You may continue.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Ray.
Good morning.
The first time that you saw Robert Baker in 2017, you said was in February when he came alone and the two of you played basketball and had dinner, correct?
That's correct.
During that time that he came out, you said you saw a bandage on his hand. Did he say anything about his girlfriend that he had previously messaged you about through Facebook?
So ruled.
Not during basketball, but in dinner he did.
And what did he tell you?
During the dinner, I asked him again if they're going to move in together to save money, and he said, yes, they've talked about it. It's already in motion.
Okay. Now, when we left off yesterday, we were talking about March 23rd through March 26th, when you first met the defendant, and after having lunch together on the 23rd or 24th, then you and your wife Michelle and Baker and Monica, you all had dinner that she invited you out to at Andrea's, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And after that dinner, would that have been when you went to the club that you said you just walked across to on the same property at the Intrigue Nightclub?
That's correct.
I'll allow this.
And by the time you got to the club, would that have been after midnight? So then we would have been talking about March 26th.
That's correct. Probably right around midnight.
Okay. And you told us that yesterday that at no time did the defendant mention that she had been married or that she was a widow, but when you got to the club, did she say anything to you about having children?
So ruled.
No, but she took some selfies, and then she said, my girls would think my girl would think I'm so cool. I'm cooler than her because I'm on stage in VIP, and that's how I realized she had a daughter.
Okay. Did she say anything else during any of the time period that you were with her about her daughter or having more than one or anything of that nature regarding family?
No.
Okay. And what was her behavior like that night when you were at the nightclub?
She was really happy. She was having a great time. She was acting like a 22-year-old. She was swearing a lot, smoking nonstop, which really bothered my wife and I. That I don't like the smoke, and I had a conversation with Rob about that.
At some point, did Rob ask you to have a conversation, or to have Michelle have a conversation with her about the smoking and her health and things like that?
Sustain.
Yes.
When I say sustain, that means you don't talk.
Yeah, that means it's a legal ruling. So, did she do anything that caused you to then leave them at the nightclub?
So ruled.
No, we were at the nightclub all the way till the end of the night.
Okay. What was her behavior while you were at the nightclub?
She was very sexual. She was humping him on the stage, which was
Not this part. So ruled.
Humping who?
Robert on stage, and they were dancing. She was having a great time. And
When you say humping him, can you describe for us what she was doing?
So ruled.
kind of like this motion of having sex, but on the dance floor. And And it was kind of embarrassing because we were up on the stage so the whole club could see us.
Okay.
And all the managers, security, they all kind of knew us, and they were kind of staring at us.
Okay. So you felt embarrassed.
I felt a little embarrassed, yes.
And you told us that you also felt embarrassed because of her behavior at the fancy restaurant you went to.
Correct.
Was that the last occasion that you saw the defendant and Rob in March of 2017?
That's right.
Okay. Now, after they left, you told us yesterday that when you met the defendant for the first time and had lunch at P.F. Chang's that you put her number into your cell phone and she put your number into hers. Did she contact you on her own prior to them returning to Vegas in May?
Yes, she did.
Your Honor, I have a extraction report from the defendant's iPhone number 119 that contains her text messages with this witness. It is 13 pages in length. May it please be marked as people's next in order.
208.
Thank you. Now been marked as People's 208, and I'm going to show you the very top. Does this appear to be text messages between you and the defendant?
Correct.
Okay. And looking at the first text on the first page, April 22nd of 2017, is this the first message that you ever received from the defendant?
Correct.
Okay. And at some point in time, did you have a conversation with her by phone, as you mentioned in your response?
Yes, I did.
And did the two of you discuss at that point something in particular with respect to the defendant and Baker returning to Las Vegas?
Yes, we did.
What was that?
We talked about she wanted to celebrate his birthday. She said she was going to pay for it all. She wanted something really fun. So I talked about Marrakesh, which is owned by one of my friends. It's got belly dancing and Mediterranean food. But I said it was kind of expensive, and she said, don't worry, I got money, I'll take care of everything. She wanted me to order a cake for Robert, and I got us a really nice table, and she took care of all the expenses.
Okay.
Sustained.
And so she told you she was going to pay for the party
Correct.
for everybody?
For everybody.
She asked you to find a place for her?
Yeah, she asked me to organize it.
And did you tell her that this restaurant would be expensive?
Yes, I did.
And is that when she told you she's got money and she would take care of everything?
She did.
Okay. Looking at page 3 of the text messages, did she text you, I think we're good for Wednesday, birthday party, we will be 7 all together, that okay?
Yes.
And that's on April 25th of 2017?
26th.
Sorry, thank you. I have terrible eyesight, even with lenses. And then subsequently, did you respond, dinner at what time did you finalize, and then Marrakesh question mark?
Yes, because she needed to give a credit card,
Okay.
so I didn't know if she finalized the thing or not.
And then in May, on May 2nd, did the defendant send you this text message? Let me know if you and Michelle can join us by the pool tomorrow so we can reserve cabana.
Yes, she did.
And did you and Michelle go and join them at the cabana at the pool area at the hotel?
No, because my wife was not.
I'm sorry? After no, that'd be sustained.
Okay. And then did you respond, as we see here at the top of page 5? Unfortunately, no, we are both working during the day until about 6. Thank you for thinking of us. Dinner is at 8 at Marrakesh as planned. The owner will have a cake there.
Correct.
Later that next day, on May 3rd, did she then ask you what time should we leave the Vdara to be there at 8?
Yes.
Did you know that they were staying at the Vdara when they came back in May, the
I
beginning of
don't
May?
recall, but I didn't really have a conversation about where they were staying with them.
But she told you that she wanted to know what time to leave the Vdara to make it to the restaurant, correct?
When she sent me the text, then I knew.
Okay.
But until then, we didn't have a conversation about it.
All right. And as we looked at in the photographs from yesterday, in People's Exhibit 205, there was a group of you for dinner that night, correct?
Correct.
And is that when you first met Al Birdsong?
Yes, that was the first time I met Al.
Okay. And did Rob tell you it was his old roommate from Las Vegas?
Yes.
And at that point, did you also meet the other couple, Ricardo and Sheila?
Yes.
Okay. And who paid for everything that night?
Monica did.
Actually not. It's overruled.
I'm sorry.
Monica did.
Okay. And after the dinner, did your wife, Michelle, did she go home?
Yes, Michelle went home after dinner.
And did Monica tell you where she wanted to go next?
Yes, Monica wanted to go to a strip club.
Okay. And so did you all go to a strip club that night?
All of us did except for Michelle.
Okay. And when you went to the strip club again, was this a place like a nightclub where you could order drinks and things of that nature?
A strip club's kind of like a nightclub, but you have to get, if you want a place to sit, you have to get bottle service.
What is that?
Like basically you get a bottle of vodka and it costs like $300 or $400 plus tip. And I told them they didn't have to get that because I had connections, so we could have just gotten the seat. But Monica wanted to get a bottle, and then I got them the VIP seat, and we all went in there through the back, through the VIP.
Okay. And so you guys sat at a table and Monica ordered a bottle of something?
Correct.
Okay. And who paid for that?
Monica did. I got everybody in for free, but she.
Sustained.
Okay. You got everybody in for free, so the only thing she wound up paying for at the club would be the bottle service?
Whatever the expenses were, yes.
Okay. And was everybody there ordering drinks?
Everybody was except me and Rob.
Okay. Any idea that night what the bill came to at the strip club?
No, because I left
Okay.
shortly after.
Now, during the March trip and the May trip, you had now spent some time with Monica and Rob. With respect to their relationship, who did it appear was in charge?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
In terms of who was making the decisions as to what you all were doing and what was being ordered and things of that nature, who was making those decisions?
100.
Sustained.
Did the defendant tell you that she got comped at the Vdara because she gambles?
Yes.
Did you talk to Robert Baker about the fact that Monica appeared to be ordering him around?
Objection, speculation, irrelevant.
Sustained on the second ground.
What was the defendant's behavior at the strip club, if you could describe for us?
She was wild, crazy. She was grabbing breasts. She was ordering
When you say breasts, whose breasts?
the dancers, exotic dancers' breasts, and she was very loud and obnoxious. And she ordered a dance for Sheila.
It's overruled.
What do you mean ordered a dance for Sheila?
She basically got a girl to give a dance to Sheila, which made Ricardo very upset, and they were fighting.
Okay. And was she doing anything? I know you talked about the night before at the nightclub that she was humping Rob. Did she do anything with respect to Rob that night?
It's overruled. At this point, it's overruled.
No, because Rob and her got in a fight because the way Monica was acting.
Okay. At any point in time, did you see her grabbing Rob's private parts?
Overruled.
That night, I don't remember, but she certainly did the night before, twice, at the restaurant and at the nightclub.
Okay. Did you describe her behavior to law enforcement as very dominant and bullying?
Yes.
Sustained. Stricken.
Did you observe any behavior from her, statements from her, with respect to jealousy?
Yes.
Sustained.
Did she tell you that Rob makes her better?
Yes, she did.
And did she use a certain term or term of endearment to refer to Rob during the times that you were with them as a couple?
She called him baby.
It's overruled.
I'm sorry,
She called him baby.
was that something that she used on a repeated basis throughout
Yes.
the times you were with them?
Yes.
At any time during the second trip to Las Vegas in May of 2017, did she ever mention to you that she had been previously married?
No.
Sustained.
I have nothing further.
You may cross.
Good morning, Mr. Ray.
Good morning.
Just one moment. You mentioned you have known Mr. Robert Baker since 2012. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And would you say you guys were close friends since then? Up until the time he got arrested?
Yes and no.
So would you say you were closer when he was still living in Vegas?
Yes.
And then when did he move out of Las Vegas?
I'm not really sure. I would think maybe 2016, but once he left, we would speak maybe every 6 months or something like that.
And you guys would talk on Facebook, right? And also communicate through WhatsApp?
And phone. Facebook was here and there, but mainly phone. We talk on the phone. And
Okay. And you used WhatsApp too also to communicate with Mr. Baker?
yeah, I think so. Mainly phone, though.
Mainly phone calls is what
Mainly
you're
phone
saying?
calls. And when we came to LA, he would meet up, whatever, with us.
Okay, so Robert Baker came to your house multiple times though after he had left Las Vegas, correct?
No.
No.
Actually, when we were in Vegas, he came to our house only twice. And afterwards, he only came once the day I met Monica.
And that was that March visit?
March visit.
And so back in 2016 when you guys started communicating on Facebook as we saw those messages, how long had it been since you guys last spoke?
Probably 6, 7 months.
So you guys were essentially catching up during that conversation, correct?
Correct.
And you remember him telling you things about this new girl he's been seeing, correct?
Correct.
And prior to that, you've never met Monica or seen her in person, correct?
Correct.
And in 2016, when he was telling you all those things about Monica, he also told you that she was a tenured professor, correct?
Correct.
And you were then interviewed in 2017, I believe, August or September, by law enforcement, correct?
I think September, yes.
And during that interview, you realized that Robert Baker had lied to you during that 2016 Facebook conversation, right?
Correct.
And he told you that Monica was a tenured professor, which you found out wasn't true, correct?
Well, I'm going to object and assume facts not in evidence. That might have been what she said.
Sustained.
When we were having dinner,
Question pending.
But you did realize during that communication with the police that Robert Baker had lied to you in that Facebook conversation, correct?
when Michelle and I were having lunch with him at P.F. Chang's, we realized that was a lie because we could tell she wasn't a tenured professor.
Okay. But you had never met Monica until that March visit, correct?
Correct.
At P.F. Chang's.
Correct.
And you met Baker, I believe, when you came to Los Angeles in February, right? When you guys played basketball?
We played in Vegas.
It was in Vegas, so Robert Baker came to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And then you guys went to have lunch, correct?
Dinner, we got done playing at midnight and went to have sushi right across the street at midnight.
Okay, and you guys continued to talk about his girl that he's seeing, correct?
Correct.
And Robert Baker, without Monica being there, told you at that time that she planned to buy him a house in Vegas, correct?
Correct. And Monica repeated that during lunch.
But Monica wasn't there in February, correct?
No, in March.
Well, you saw Monica in May. Did she ever buy a house in Vegas?
No, in March, Monica came to Vegas with Robert when I first met Monica.
Yeah,
She told me she wanted to buy a house for Robert in Vegas.
I understand that, but you then saw Monica again in May, and she had never purchased a house, correct?
Right, correct.
Well, I'm going to object. That would call for speculation.
I don't allow that.
Which is right.
No.
And
Robert, can you approach for a moment?
Sure. You may continue, Mr. Babbage.
okay, so the only 2 times you had ever met Monica was that Vegas visit in March and the Vegas visit in May, correct?
Correct.
After that Vegas visit in March, you said you were embarrassed by Monica, correct?
Correct.
With how she was acting,
Correct.
but you still communicated with her and helped her plan Robert Baker's birthday trip in Vegas in May, correct?
Correct.
Did you help plan that birthday trip because you had a bunch of connections in Las Vegas?
Well, Rob was my friend, and I was doing it for Rob. And yes, because I knew people, it was easier for me to coordinate stuff and get better deals.
Get better deals.
Trying to save Monica money.
Save Monica money, and also get maybe the birthday party into places that would be hard to get into, correct?
Correct.
And you had connections with, I believe you said, a person at that strip club, right, who gave you access to the VIP table with no cover charge or no minimum?
Correct.
And you left that strip club prior to Monica paying the bill, correct?
That's correct.
So you don't know if Monica paid the bill that night, correct?
I know Monica paid the bill because the manager of the club told me that.
The manager told you that afterwards?
Yeah, because usually if I took somebody in, I followed up on it to make sure that the person left tip and took care of the staff because it's my reputation at that point.
And your reputation's important to you, correct?
Correct.
Why did you help Monica plan Robert Baker's birthday trip when you knew she was an embarrassing person back in March?
Because I was doing it for Rob. In fact, my wife did not want to go to that party, and I talked her into coming because I was like, it's just for Rob. Because I had no idea what happened at that point, right? So I'm thinking, this is just a birthday party. I'm helping a friend.
Yeah, correct. But then you also reached out to Monica on your own on June 29th in 2017. Isn't that right?
June 20. Yeah, I sent him a short film that I directed and produced to show them because I had no idea what they had committed.
You don't know what they had committed
Exactly.
even until this day. But you reached out to Monica.
Well, I'm gonna object
I was sending that to Rob.
counsel- Excuse me. I'm gonna object to counsel's testimony.
Sustained.
Thank you. You, by yourself, reached out to Monica on June 29, 2017, correct?
Correct.
You knew of Robert Baker's history in the porn industry, correct?
Correct.
And you knew the lifestyle that came with, correct?
When I met Robert, he was nothing like what a typical person in porn would do. He was very normal. I don't hang out with, I'm very particular about who I hang out with. And Robert was, we played, most of the time we just laughed, joked, played racquetball. That was the extent of our relationship. I've never seen him do drugs, smoke, drink, do anything, fight. So-
But you called Robert a womanizer, isn't that correct?
well, he would talk to girls when he was single, once him and Tracy weren't together, yes.
But you specifically told the police back in 2017 that Robert was a womanizer, correct?
Sure.
And one moment, Your Honor. Didn't during that conversation in February, wasn't Robert the one that told you that Monica was going to open up all these salons?
No, I don't recall that conversation. In fact, I had no idea Monica was in the salon business at all. And there might be a possibility she spoke to my wife during the lunch at P.F. Chang's, but I
Your
didn't
Honor,
know.
move to strike. There's no question pending. Thank you. Would it refresh your recollection if I showed you a page from the transcript of your audio interview in 2017 with the police?
It would, but there was multiple conversations happening
Your
at
Honor,
that time.
may I approach?
Which counsel?
Page 61, lines 24 through 25.
Thank you.
Can you just read lines 24 and 25 to yourself? Silently. And let me know when you're done.
I'm done.
So you started saying she told me, but then you changed it to he told me that they're going to open up all these salons all over, correct?
The detective led the conversation, and at that time there's multiple conversations going on, but I distinctively remember I did not know anything about a salon business, and when the detective said it, I think the transcription is wrong over there because I didn't know at that time.
So the detectives led the entire conversation
That,
with you?
if you look at the line before, the detectives led the conversation. It wasn't me.
Yeah, but I'm just asking you, throughout that interview, the detectives essentially led that entire conversation?
No, just that part.
Just that part?
Yes.
I want to go back to where you said that Miss Sementilli told you that she was going to buy houses for Robert Baker. Isn't it true in the interview that you said that actually Robert Baker told me that she wants to buy property out here, not Miss Sementilli?
No, it's not true.
Your Honor, would it help refresh your recollection if I showed you a page?
You're speaking about two different incidents.
Well, I'm talking about the one incident when you were speaking with just Robert Baker.
So you're talking about February.
Yes.
He did not testify that his memory needs to be refreshed.
Understood.
If he was to impeach
If you're talking about February, yes,
It was just Robert Baker, correct?
just Robert Baker.
No, it's oral.
Just trying to clarify, Your Honor. Thank you. You got bottle service for free, right?
No, the bottle service wasn't free. You didn't have to get a bottle, but she chose to get a bottle and then she paid for it.
Well, didn't you tell the detectives previously that you would get bottles if you asked for bottles from your connections?
Again, I'm gonna object, it's not inconsistent with what he testified to.
I said I have the option to get bottles, get the table without having to get a bottle. So normally in Vegas, you have to, if you want to get a booth, you have to order bottles. I had the option to get the booth without having to get bottles, and people can order individual drinks.
And isn't it true that in Vegas there's also a minimum to get tables usually?
That's correct.
And there was no minimum for you guys, correct?
That's correct.
And what is the typical minimum?
Depends. If you go to a nightclub, it's $1,000 or more. If you go to a strip club, it could be anywhere from $300 to $1,000, depending on what weekend it is and what's going on.
Understood. You, outside of those two visits with Monica and Rob in Vegas, you never saw Monica again, correct?
Correct.
Did you ever speak to Robert after those two visits in Vegas?
No.
Did you ever tell Robert that, hey, I don't like Monica, out after they had both left Vegas?
After they left Vegas? No.
One moment, Your Honor.
Anything further about the people?
Briefly. When the detectives came to speak to you, you told them, this was September 28th of 2017, that you did not know the defendant had been previously married.
That's correct.
Not a lot of this.
You also told them that you had no idea the defendant was a widow.
Correct.
And you don't know whether or not the defendant purchased any property in Las Vegas or not.
Correct.
Okay. And you also didn't know, when you were interviewed by law enforcement, that the defendant and Baker had been arrested.
Correct.
Nor did you know when that occurred.
Correct.
And when you reached out to the defendant on June 29th of 2017, I want to make sure that we're clear on the year, you were unaware that they were in custody at the time and couldn't respond.
Correct.
It's overruled.
With respect to opening the salons, the line prior to what was asked on cross-examination was a detective saying, She taught people to open up their own salons and business stuff like that, by the way. Was that what was said to you before your statement?
I believe so. When I was going through my own statements,
Yes.
can I speak?
Well-
I felt like some of these things didn't make sense.
Overruled.
And so you recall them saying that prior to you responding?
Yeah.
Do you need to look at the transcript?
No.
Okay. And you told the detectives about the things the defendant had said to you, that Monica had said to you, as well as things Robert had said to you, correct?
Correct. I think she said that to my wife, and that's how I know about the salon thing.
In other words,
Excuse me. It's overruled.
you were trying to be today specific to what was asked of you.
Correct.
Or what was said to you.
Correct.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Anything further, Mr. Babbage?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Ray, and you are excused. I can see counsel at sidebar momentarily.